A very good morning to you all on the initiative of our AIPRPA CHQ and under the able guidance of our General Secretary, Comrade K. Raghavendran. I am making this YouTube presentation. The purpose of the presentation is to educate our pensioners in general and our activists in particular about various pension rules and regulations and other pension related issues. Since this is a completely new experiment, there may be shortcomings and inadequacies. Viewers are requested to kindly bear with me for the same. Today, I will try to deal with family pension in general and enhanced family pension in particular. The payment of family pension is governed by Rule 54 of CCS Pension Rules 1972. We can categorize the family pension generally into two. First category is spouse category, that is, the widow or widower of the government servant or pensioner. The second category is unmarried, widowed, or divorced daughters, parents, etc. Today, we are dealing with category 1 only. This can again be categorized as normal family pension and enhanced family pension. You are all aware that on death of a pensioner or government servant while on duty, the spouse, widow or widower is eligible for family pension. The point to be noted here is that even a government servant who is covered under new pension scheme dies while in service, her spouse is also eligible for family pension. These orders we got after a lot of struggle. Now let us see what is normal family pension and what is enhanced family pension. Normal family pension is calculated at 30% of last pay drawn, subject to a minimum of rupees 3,500 on implementation of 6th CPC recommendations effective from 1/1/2006. There is a slight change from 1/1/2016 on implementation of 7th CPC recommendations. As you all know, as per memo number 38/37/2016-PNPWA dated 12/5/2017 of Pension Ministry, the pay of all pensioners, family pensioners will have to be fixed notionally in the pay matrix recommended by the 7th CPC in the level corresponding to the pay in the pay scale, pay band and GP at which they retired, died. This is a very significant development achieved by the concerted efforts of our AIPRPA and NCCPA and other pensioners organizations. 30% of such notional pay, subject to a minimum of rupees 9,000, will be the normal family pension with effect from 1/1/2016. Now we come to enhanced family pension. Enhanced family pension is 50% of last pay drawn, subject to a minimum of rupees 3,500 with effect from 1/1/2006 and 50% of notional pay fixed as per 7th CPC recommendations, subject to a minimum of 9,000 with effect from 1/1/2016. Now let us see who are all eligible for enhanced family pension. In case of retired government servants, the spouse is eligible for enhanced family pension for 7 years from the date of retirement or 67 years of age, whichever is earlier. Please note, it is date of retirement. In case of government servants who dies while in service, the spouse is eligible for enhanced family pension for a period of 10 years from the date of death of government servant without any age restrictions. Here it is date of death. Thereafter, the spouse will be paid normal family pension. We have to note here that enhanced family pension for 10 years was recommended by 6th CPC only and was implemented from 1/1/2006. Here, one case of a family pensioner we dealt with come to my mind. We were simply verifying the PPO of one family pensioner whose husband died while in service. The death occurred in early 2006. In the PPO, enhanced family pension was authorized only for 7 years. Nobody noticed it. Of course, the family pensioner was unaware of the rules. The reason for this was, as all of you know, the orders for implementation of 6th CPC was issued only in 2008, to be exact on 1/9/2008. While issuing PPOs in the intervening period, that is from 1/1/2006 to 1/9/2008, the revised rules have not been issued. Naturally, in such cases, corrigendum should have been issued. But it is very rare that such things happen automatically. As for the family pensioner that we are talking about, we made her to represent to the General Manager, Postal Accounts and Finance, and she got enhanced family pension for another 3 years on our effort. There may be many such cases all over India. Our activists will have to find out such cases and take up their cases with the authorities. Another aspect of minimum family pension also has to be seen. On 3/10/2008, Department of Pension and Pensioners Welfare issued a clarificatory order by which pension has to be calculated at 50% of minimum pay in the pay band, irrespective of pre-revised scale of pay, corresponding to pre-revised scale. Please note that the word minimum in the pay band, but the original order was minimum of the pay in the pay band plus GP corresponding to the minimum of the pay in the pre-revised pay scale. A lot of cases were filed in central administrative tribunals, high courts, etc. Everywhere, the judgment was in favor of pensioners. The matter went up to the Supreme Court. An SLP was filed. The Supreme Court dismissed the SLP. Government had no other go but issue a revised order on 28/1/2013, in which the minimum pension and family pension was fixed for every pre-revised scale. Many pensioners in LSG and HSG1 got higher pension because of this order. Here, the case of HSG1 pensioners requires special mention. As all of you are aware, the pay of HSG1 was upgraded to 7,450, 10,000, 11,500 from 6,500, 10,500 by the 6th CPC. But this was denied to officials retired before 1/1/2006. After much efforts and court cases, the government finally agreed to consider 4,600 grade pay for those who retired prior to 1/1/2006. But the higher pay scale was not considered. Orders were finally issued on 9/7/2019 and the minimum pension was increased from 8,150 to 8,350 and minimum family pension from 4,887 to 5,007 from 1/1/2006. But in one such case in our division, after receipt of revised PPO, while calculating arrears, the period from 1/1/2006 to 31/12/2015 was left out. After our intervention, arrears for that period was also paid. You can see that the intervention of our association is necessary to render justice to the pensioners and family pensioners at every juncture. Thus, it becomes our paramount duty to strengthen the organization. Now, we come to the most important part of our presentation, that is GSR 673E dated 19/9/2019. Gazette notification number GSR 673E was issued on 19/9/2019 by the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pension, amending Rule 54 of Central Civil Service Pension Rules 1972. By this amendment, after having rendered not less than 7 years of continuous service, has been omitted. By this amendment, spouse of the government servant died while in service is eligible for enhanced family pension if he has not completed 7 years of continuous service. As per the earlier rules, enhanced family pension was eligible only for the spouse of government servant who was put in 7 years of continuous service. By this amendment, many family pensioners become eligible for enhanced family pension with effect from 1/10/2019. The Pension Ministry just issued the Gazette notification. It was never communicated to the ministries and departments for implementation. Enquiries at Office of Postmaster General and DPA revealed that they were not aware of the notification or the implication of the same. Then we sought information under RTI from Pension Ministry on 24/12/2019. The Pension Ministry replied that such Gazette notifications are not communicated but has to be acted upon by the concerned ministries and departments. Then we sought information under RTI from Department of Posts on the Gazette notification. We received a reply which stated that the amendment will be acted upon, and the DOP circulated the Gazette notification on 28/5/2020, full 8 months after the Gazette notification was issued. That is after receipt of our RTI application. A very important aspect of the amendment is that the government servant who died while in service within 10 years before 1/10/2019 is eligible for enhanced family pension with effect from 1/10/2019. In other words, spouse of a government servant who died before completing 7 years of service is also eligible for enhanced family pension from 1/10/2019. Of course, for 10 years from the date of death. We have also seen that spouse of officials covered under NPS are also eligible for enhanced family pension. That is, the officials who joined government service on or after 1/1/2004 are also eligible. Now, the struggle starts for implementation of the Gazette notification. We sought information from all chief PMGs regarding the implementation of the above notification. We reproduce below our queries. A kind reference is invited to the above notification. In this connection, the following information may kindly be made available to me under RTA Act 2005. 1. Number and particulars of officials covered under NPS who died while in service for the period from 1/1/2004 till date division wise. 2. Whether the spouse of such officials have been granted family pension. 3. Whether the family pension of such eligible family pensioners have been revised as per the CCS Pension Rules 1972, Sub-Rule 3A, as amended by the above mentioned notification. 4. If not already revised as per the above mentioned notification, whether action will be taken now to revise the family pension of such eligible family pensioners. Our RTA application was forwarded by Chief PMGs to the postal divisions for direct reply to us. We have received replies from about 400 divisions from all over India. The replies received by us reveal that most of the divisions are not aware about the implication and importance of the amendment. Most divisions think that the query is about revision of minimum family pension to Rs 9,000 by the 7th CPC. Even some of the offices of GM Postal Accounts and Finance are not fully aware about the amendment and its implications. One silver lining we see from the replies is that spouse of officials covered under NPS who died while in service have been granted family pension due to our continuous efforts. Now, our task is to find out such family pensioners in each and every division in our country and take up their cases with the concerned authorities. Even though the number of such cases may be small, it will be of great satisfaction for us and our organization if we are able to enhance the pension of such family pensioners. In our Coimbatore division, we took up 3 such cases with the divisional administration. In one case, we have received the revised PPO. The family pension of the family pensioner has since been revised, and she got a substantial increase of rupees 4,000 in the basic pension itself from 1/10/2019. This is a great achievement. Our request to all of you is that please take up such cases in your area, in your division, with the concerned authorities. With this, I conclude this presentation. Thank you very much. See you again.